JP, how old are you?
58.
And do you support Donald Trump?
I do.
What lies do you think I engaged in? You said I engaged in 10 lies and that I'm quote unquote worse than Dean.
You are worse than Dean. I mean, so many lies, I lost count. I mean, what
Okay.
the hell?
What lies?
Well, climate change. Are you aware that climate has changed over the millions of years that the Earth has
Yeah.
been formed?
Really? Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and how many of those years were warm versus cold?
I mean, I'm confused. What is your basis for warm and cold as it relates to the environment? Warm as it relates to humans, or warm
Ice
as it
age
relates to
compared ice age compared to warming periods.
um should we look at specifically the temperatures that human beings have been alive on the planet, or are you just looking at the entirety of the existence of Earth?
Well,
Because the
you can
entirety,
look at
a huge
temperatures
percentage of the
for as
existence
long
on
as
Earth
human
could not
beings have
support
been
human
on the
life.
planet, but how
No, what I'm
long
saying
have
is a
human
huge.
beings
What I'm
been
saying is that the
recording
the
temperatures?
atmosphere on Earth, as a huge portion of the atmosphere on Earth, could not sustain human life, right? That so like the what you're not addressing specifically when you look at the overall standpoint is whether or not it's going to sustain human life. So if we look at specifically the impacts in terms of the climate, those are going to be detrimental to human survival in the manner in which it's been historically speaking, right? That's why people are saying that it's harmful. So nothing about that was a lie. I'm referencing specifically what climate scientists indicate. If you think science is a lie, well, then that
No,
just tells me you think facts are lies.
97% of climate scientists.
Yes, that's a fact.
No, that's not.
It literally
97%
is.
of scientists, not climate scientists. 97% of scientists. So scientists were questioned about global warming or climate change, as you would like to, as we now call it. We've gone away from the global warming. It's climate change. 97% of scientists agree.
No, it's
Not
climate science. It's
97%
climate
of
scientists from
climate
NASA. It says
scientists.
climate
No.
scientists. It says yes. This is from NASA. Yes, the vast majority of actively publishing climate scientists, 97% agree that humans are causing global warming and climate change. That's literally
Okay,
from
that
NASA.
that is an Al Gore talking point, and we're just going to have to disagree, right?
And that was an Al Gore talking point. Really?
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
You mean you
we've
mean
been
you mean a
threatened
fact
with
from science? I mean a fact from NASA is an
we've
Al Gore
been
talking
threatened with
point. So
climate
like science. So
change.
Al Gore just said scientific facts.
Oh, so Al Gore says scientific facts,
Yeah,
like
yeah. If that was an Al Gore
uh,
talking point, well
the
then Al Gore
glaciers were going
engaged
to
in a
melt by
scientific fact.
2013,
What's up?
but they haven't, right?
Say that again.
The glaciers would melt by 2013.
I'm not. Never said that
That
every
was a
single.
claim by Al Gore,
I never
but the
said every
glaciers
claim
haven't
by Al
melted.
Gore was correct. I was referencing this particular claim is correct. I'm not even sure if he made that claim. I wasn't alive specifically when you guys were talking about Al Gore. I'm literally 23 years old, so I wasn't even alive when this election happened.
So you lack wisdom.
Ooh. Me being young means I lack wisdom under your view. That's it.
Yeah, yeah, it absolutely does.
Well, apparently I have enough wisdom that exceeds yours, and yet I had less time.
Well, let's talk. Let's go
Because I
back
mean, you,
to.
you don't believe in science, so what wisdom does that give you?
No, I do believe in science.
What? Oh, really? You do? So then you believe the 97% of climate scientists that indicate that climate change is caused by humans?
No,
Oh, okay.
absolutely
So then,
not.
so then you think that you know better than science.
No, I don't think I know better than science, but I
So
can study
scientists know better
science.
than you.
And I can see where science says that global warming and cooling has occurred since the
Cooling?
beginning.
Wait.
Cooling,
So
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So no, cooling is not
Ice
happening right now.
age
So
didn't
there's currently
exist. The
global
ice
warming.
age.
It
Are you
did.
going to
Do you want
tell
to go
me
back to the
that there
ice
was
age? You want
never
to go back to the ice, and
an
we're not
ice
even going
age?
towards that. We're not even going towards an ice age.
How do you know?
How do we know? Because that's what the climate scientists indicate.
I mean, okay, so let's look at climate scientists. They will tell us that on average, every 100,000 years, the Earth goes through a very cool climate where glaciers form that can extend as far south in the United States as the Mason Dixon line, correct? Is that not true? That's what scientists say. And that in between these cooling periods or these ice age periods, there's a period of warming that can last anywhere from 12 to 25,000 years.
Yeah, the
Now,
issue is the
that
amount
is
of warming,
taken,
right? The
that
issue
is
is the amount of
taken
warming at the rate
from,
it's going at is unprecedented.
okay, so what would be worse for human survival? Extreme cold or extreme warmth?
We're not even going towards extreme cold right now. We just recently had an ice age.
Recently?
Yes, recently, as it relates to 100,000
When?
years.
When was the last ice age?
The last ice age was a bit over what 10,000 plus years ago.
12,000.
12,000? Yeah.
But that's close.
Okay, so that's yeah,
So,
that's
in
close
theory,
as it relates to that as it relates to
if we're
100,000
going
years, right?
to believe the scientific
Well, hold
data
up, hold up, hold
from
up, hold
core
up, hold up,
samples,
hold up. When
we would have to
you're listen,
realize that
listen,
we are
listen,
approaching a cooling
listen,
period.
listen. You understand? No, we're not. If it's every 100 years or 100,000 years, and we are 12,000 years out, 14,000 years out, right? That's like 14% of the way at max. Okay, that's not right next to it. We're not on the edge of it. We're on the edge of getting out of it.
Edge of getting out of what?
I meant like we just got out of it. Like it just happened as it relates to the 100,000 year
No,
timeline
no,
cycle.
we've been out of the ice age for at least 12,000 years.
Yeah. Do you
The
do you,
average
do
warming
you
period
what
lasts
is
from
what dude?
10,000.
I'm sorry. 12 divided by 100. What is that?
What does 12 divided by 100 have to do with it? Every 100,000 years, the Earth cools to the point where ice covers the majority of the globe. Every 100,000 years. Every in between those that period, every 12 to 25,000 years, the Earth warms, which allows the
Okay.
human species to be successful, to proliferate,
Okay.
to
What is
expand.
Okay, how about this? Can you tell me specifically, right, how any of this relates to whether or not humans are causing the level of warmth that we're seeing right now?
No, I believe that humans are causing some warmth
Okay.
to the planet, but it's not a destructive amount of warmth.
For human
It's not
civilization, it can be
it's
yes.
not that our
Can
civilization
be.
is going to end
No one's saying the
because of global
civilization is
warming.
going to completely end. We're just saying that it massively changes in certain ways, and which are going to negatively impact the human survival in the current manner in which it is. We're not saying 100% end to civilization. That's not the claim.
Okay, so human created climate change is going to harm humans. Is that not to say that the natural climate change that the earth has gone through for millions of years before humans existed is not going to create the same problem?
No, 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 nowhere near as quick, right? Because it's significantly more gradual when reference to the typical natural trend in terms of the warmth of the planet, right? Significantly lesser than what we've seen due to the fact that human caused climate change has been impacting the temperatures. So it's about the rate, the level in which it changes.
So, how long have we been recording temperatures as a as the human species? How long have we been recording temperatures?
How long have we been
What's the
recording?
historical data?
I mean, I don't know like the first uh, aspects of human civilization that were recording temperature, but are you talking about like recently, like for America?
Yeah, what data can we rely on? I mean, how long have
Well,
we
Scientists.
we can
accurately
get
determined
data that goes
temperature?
into the past because of different mechanisms that NASA uses, going to ice cores, other things like that, purchase the money on. So we can point back to in terms of that if that's what you're looking for. But
Only
typically, like
actual temperature. We've only recorded for about 120 years,
yeah,
We
right?
can
that'd
come
be
to
140 since
conclusions
1880. But what?
with old rocks. We can come to
Well,
conclusions with old rocks.
Yeah,
We don't necessarily have to record the temperature, JP.
yeah.
Well, I would disagree.
Oh wow.
Okay.
So we have ice
I
cores
have a
that have
question. I have a
recorded
question. Did
temperatures
dinosaurs
that,
exist?
yeah, I believe so.
Okay. What do you know? What temperature it was when dinosaurs existed? Like in
It was very
typical?
warm.
Oh, how do you
It
know
was
that?
warm. Well, we know because when the dinosaurs went extinct, there was some, according to science, there was some, apocalyptic, like the theory is a meteor hit the Earth, uh, which caused global cooling. So where I live
That doesn't necessarily
used
mean
to
that it
be
was
covered.
very warm at that particular time,
Yeah,
right? That
at
just means
one
that there was
time it
blocked out
was very
sunlight due to
warm.
a meteorite, meteor. So, like, can you answer this? And by the way, you accept scientific theory
For the most part, yes, I
for the
do.
most part. Okay, so then why don't you accept that in terms of climate change?
I accept the fact that we, mankind, we do have a very minimal effect
It's not minimal.
on the
Again, if you look
temperature.
at what scientists indicate that they indicate otherwise, what tells you that it's minimal?
No, some scientists will agree with my opinion,
Name one.
and some don't. Well, I can't name them off the top of my head. This is the same tactic Dean uses. Name one. Okay, you
He
name one.
asks for evidence. Asks for evidence. So,
Name
like,
one.
again, when it name a like a scientist that believes the that
Yeah,
climate change is
name one.
real.
Name one.
Would Bill Nye count as a scientist?
No, Bill. No, Bill Nye is an entertainer. He's not a scientist.
No, he's
I
not.
see you
Fuck.
going through
Hold
Google.
up, hold up.
Oh,
He's
you
not.
got to
He's not.
Google.
Okay. Well,
Google.
hold up, hold
Let
up.
me Google it up.
No,
Let me
no.
Google it.
I can give you someone. Doctor Blitz. He's actually one of my friends. He's a mathematical physicist.
So you have the advantage of sitting in front of your computer and you can do your little Google AI search.
I did it. I did it.
I
That's
don't
one of my
have
friends,
that
bro.
advantage.
Dude,
I don't have that, but
you don't have
he's one of your
friends?
friends. Um, you have acquaintances.
Oh,
I have
okay.
friends.
I just have acquaintances. Okay, man.
Yeah,
You're right, dude.
yeah.
No one. I have no friends. You're right. Parker has no
I'm not
friends.
sure
Parker only
you
has
would understand
acquaintances.
what a true fan really is.
Yeah. Parker has no clue what true friends are. What makes you
Yeah.
think that though?
Personal
Like, what makes you
attacks.
think that I don't know what having true friends is like?
So, could you call this scientist friend in the middle of the night and he would answer your call? He would come to your need, no matter what it was?
I mean, I don't think it necessarily needs to be the case for Blitz, but yes, he would absolutely. Blitz is a stand-up guy, dude.
Well, good. Hey, good on you, bud.
I mean, technically, he
It's
does
good
do
to
that
have
because he
friends like
literally
you.
lives in Europe, so it's like he literally would do that.
Well, he'd have trouble, wouldn't he? Yeah, that
No,
would
because
be a
it would be
struggle.
night. It would be nighttime. I'm talking about calling.
Oh, yeah, that'd be a struggle. I get it. But yeah,
Okay. Okay, so
my
you just think
friends.
I don't have true friends? What? Parker needs to get a friend, huh? Right?
No, no, no. I didn't say you didn't have true friends.
Parker get a friend.
You were questioning my friendships and what I consider a friendship as someone
No,
that's
I was
ride or
like,
die.
okay,
What
it
are
has
you
I
to be
could
talking
ride or die.
about?
Like, what does
call
that mean?
well, I could call my friend right now and say, "Hey, I need help," and he'd be here in a
Like right
matter
now?
of in a matter of a half hour.
Okay, tell him right now you need help on the live, and tell me you need help debating a liberal.
Well, I don't need help
You
debating a
do.
liberal.
You do need help.
No, I don't. No, I
Well,
don't.
I mean, hey, chat. If
So
you think
let's
he
get
needs help,
let's
type 3 in the comment section.
so
Three,
let's get
two.
back to yeah, you can sit here and brag in your echo chamber, right? Because who do
I'm
you
not.
think's watching your
By the way, I'm
live?
in an echo chamber while I debate every single day. This is the opposite of an echo chamber. I
And
know, right?
Dean, neither one have been taught any manners. I mean, you don't
Wait,
really
is
count
Dean my friend? Is Dean my
your
friend?
money. Um, yeah, I guess I would call him your friend.
Yay! So I do have
I
friends.
mean, would he come to your rescue? I think he would.
Yeah, dude. He would come to my rescue. Yeah, totally, dude.
Let me ask you this question: how many lives do you get on that are conservative? How many
How many?
lives have you participated in with a conservative host?
I don't know. I've been doing this for years. I've been doing this for half a decade, man.
You can't give me a number. I mean,
Hell no.
are you
What?
going
5 years? I've been
on
doing this for five
lives?
years, dude.
Are you going on lives on a conservative live platform? Are you going there and debating them,
No,
or
not
are you
anymore.
sitting
I don't
in
do it
your echo
anymore.
chamber?
This is
Someone
an
said
echo chamber. I'm
social
debating
media.
people constantly all day.
Okay, I believe that you are in an echo chamber because most of the people that support you because they are also in an echo chamber. Now,
Okay,
I
so
at
can you
least
define
have
what
the
an echo
courage
chamber
to come
is?
on here and try to debate you,
Wait,
right?
can you tell me what an echo chamber is?
Yeah, an echo chamber is where you're surrounded by people that have groupthink that think the exact way that you do.
Okay. So
And
if
you
you're in
never
any
listen
room,
to
so if you're
the
in any room,
perspective.
because you are
Huh?
surrounded by people that agree with you.
I'm not surrounded by people that agree with me.
You're not surrounded by people that think it's wrong.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so you're surrounded by people that agree with you. Dude, you're just
So murder
constantly in
isn't
echo
wrong?
chambers, dude.
Are you
Yeah,
trying to say
we're
to
just
me
in
that
echo
murder
chambers
isn't
because
wrong?
we all agree that it's wrong, man. We're just in an echo chamber right now.
So is abortion wrong?
I think it's not.
But is it wrong?
No,
Can we
because
talk
it's not
about
right.
that? I like that topic.
So do the people around you think it's wrong?
No.
Okay, that's your echo chamber.
What do you
There are
mean?
plenty of people that think that it is wrong.
Okay, that doesn't mean so because you agree with some people doesn't mean you're necessarily in an echo chamber. By the way, we're in an echo chamber. It means you're not engaging in conversation with other opinions. That's an echo chamber. Okay. This particularly is a platform where I am literally engaging with the other side. Right.
Okay, so let's engage. Let's engage. Let's extend an olive branch. Is there anything I'm obviously a conservative. You are obviously a liberal. Is there anything we could agree on? Immigration. Immigration. Why is it a choice between open borders or mass deportation? Is there not a middle ground? Is there
Um,
some middle ground that can be found between the two opinions that would satisfy both sides?
I don't know specifically what that position is that would quote unquote satisfy both sides, but I can tell you what my position is. My position is that people who are already in the country who have not committed a violent crime or bad crime should be given a pathway to citizenship where they do not have to leave. That incentivizes the most amount of people to be vetted as possible. And we should incentivize the legal process to go significantly quicker so that it is the case that it incentivizes people to go through said legal process and go through the vetting process rather than coming to the country undocumented, which will then give law enforcement a greater ability to focus on people who actually are a threat to our safety and security as a community rather than specifically people who've been living in this country for a long time that literally have families here that are working and trying to make their community a better place.
Okay, so let me give you my opinion on immigration. I believe that anyone that has entered the country illegally but is currently employed should be allowed to legally reside in the country and continue to work. I also believe that those individuals should be paid a living wage, right? They should not have their labor taken advantage of because they're in the country illegally. They should be made legal and be allowed to work in the country and work towards a path of citizenship. So, how far off are we?
It sounds like we mostly agree. I think
It
that
does
people
sound
say if
like
they
we
were,
mostly agree.
well, I think this would be true specifically with most people who are in the country, as like undocumented immigrants actually have a higher labor force participation rate than natural born U.S. citizens. So it does sound like pretty similar to my position. This is I would say different than like what we see on both sides. So we mostly agree here in terms of immigration. This isn't like an open border. I think we can both agree that this isn't an open border because I mean, if there are people who commit violent crimes and bad crimes, obviously we think that they should be deported or they shouldn't be allowed into our country. So it sounds like we agree specifically in terms of immigration. So maybe we'll, because typically on these debates, we talk about things that we disagree with. We don't necessarily talk about things that we agree with, right? So what would be things specifically that you support in terms of Donald Trump that would get you to support Donald Trump over Kamala Harris? Because if we agree on this position, it seems like Democrats have a better position on the matter. Not saying they're perfect or I totally agree with Democrats, but I mean, they are arguing for a significantly quicker legal immigration process.
Will you run for office anytime,
I
Parker?
don't plan on it.
Why
Well,
not?
first off, I don't believe that a Harris administration would have been any different from the Biden administration as far as the border is concerned. Now, I don't, as I said and stated previously, I don't want an open border, but I don't agree with mass deportation either. So, how do we find a candidate that's in the middle? How are we ever going to do that? If we spend all our time on the disagreements rather than what we agree on, how are we ever going to elect people that actually represent what we want?
Well, this is a debate platform. So, like in debate platforms, you engage in things that you disagree with. There are platforms that exist where people talk about specifically what they agree upon. This is just not the platform for that. I don't have to do everything here specifically on this platform.
Well,
That's the great
debating
thing
on
about
what we
that's the
disagree
great thing
on.
about a movement is that like we do specifically what we're best at, right? I'm best at specifically debating, engaging in argumentation. I don't think I'm the best at specifically just sitting here, talking specifically just about what we agree upon. Obviously, I want to come to a point of agreement, but I don't want to spend so much time on just, oh, we agree on this, we agree on that, we agree on that all, because it doesn't really change or shift people's minds, right? And that's the point and the goal that I'm using specifically in terms of engaging in debates is to shift and change people's minds and get them to utilize and see different perspectives.
Okay, so let's continue the debate then. Let's take Abrego Garcia, deported from the country without due process. Correct? That is the argument.
Well, technically, they
What
violated
would
a
you
court order and
say?
they deported him to CCOT, and he was like CCOT,
He was
and yeah, he was
Let's
brought back
say
to the
that.
country, and then Trump is threatening to send him to Uganda.
Okay, let's say that President Trump, rather than deport him, ordered a with no due process. That would be an outrage, correct? Because President Trump believed he was a threat to national security. That would be outrageous, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, are you aware that former President Obama, three United States citizens with a without due process? Are
Yeah.
you aware of that?
Was evidence given to Congress that they were involved with organizations?
Evidence was given to Congress after,
Okay.
but evidence has been presented that Abrego
Has Trump
Garcia
engaged
was a
in
member
providing any
of
of the evidence?
MS-13.
By the way, I'm not even saying I necessarily agree. And there are plenty of things I disagree with Obama on. But the point that I would bring is that there's a distinction between specifically what Barack Obama did and what Donald Trump's doing, because there was evidence given to Congress in those particular circumstances in terms of Obama, but there's not been evidence given to Congress specifically under Trump's administration.